All right, so I'm gonna go over a trade that I took today. It was a small trade, nothing crazy. It was only $12 that I made on it, one contract on QQQ. So I'm gonna go over what I did, what I saw. No big crazy setup. All I did is marked out the previous day high and previous day low on from Friday, and I marked out those levels and just kind of kept an eye on them. I do have previous days highs and lows marked out also if the market in itself hasn't really checked it, gone through it. So in this case, like I have this Thursday low right here that if I zoom out, we did come and test it pre-market a few days ago, but it didn't break through. It came back out of it. So in turn, I left that zone alone. And lo and behold, today it actually came down and right as soon as the market opened and tested it. I try not to take a trade that close to market open. I don't know, because to me, the market can swing one way or the other very quickly. So even though there seemed to be very good indication that it was bouncing off of that level, these two candles with the long bottom wicks to me show that buyers are stepping in. But that wasn't the trade I took. So I had another level drawn up from that Friday. The level I drew up was right here on Friday, where we had this down move and a little bit of consolidation. And I just kind of drew the zone up where these bottom wicks were in relation to where this little retest was, and the market continued to the downside. So I drew this zone out thinking that this might have been a pretty good supply zone where, like I said previously, the market tested it, both consolidated around it and retested it only to fail. So I drew that out and extended it past to today. So once we approached that zone on QQQ, I could see the one thing that got me interested in this trade was the fact that we had volume coming in, especially in this counter right here. In the past that I've seen where we have a stock rising, there once in a while there's a candle in that up move that comes in with a lot of volume and usually has a upper wick like this, not very long, but a wick in general. It kind of maybe shows me that there's some selling stepping in and that the market might be either getting ready to slow down or reverse or just consolidate, one of the two. So seeing this come in, and then also knowing that we're coming up to a particular level, that got me interested in the possibility of taking a short on in this market. Hindsight 2020, we can see where yeah, it just consolidated. But I got some video of the trade I took. So as this market's coming up, the volume is coming in. Like I said, we got this initial candle that got me interested in it. Then as we go on, we got this other candle here with a lot more volume. To me, with that much volume, if the market was going to continue up, I believe that this candle would have been a lot larger, kind of like this one over here, this widespread candle. So we can actually compare the two. This candle had this volume bar right here, comparing it to this other candle. I mean, yeah, this candle and this volume bar. This one had a lot more volume, but the candle in itself was not as big. So that tells me that there wasn't as much strength behind this candle, this amount of volume. So that led me to believe that the market was going to pull back. So as we approach this level, I see this candle here with the upper wick with a lot of volume, and this candle here. I really wanted to enter here, but I told myself to wait, be patient, wait till the candle closes. And I see this one open up, kind of pull back. I said, man, I'm just gonna wait. I know a lot of times before where I've just jumped into a trade and it bites me in the butt just because I won't wait. So this one, luckily I waited because it pushed up a little bit, came back down, and then I entered on this candle right here. But once it started to actually push to the downside, so we'll see that in the replay. But I wound up entering on this candle here and actually scalped it for a real quick move. I wasn't too sure if it was actually going to pull back. Like I said, hindsight being 2020, we can see where it just kind of pushed up and consolidated for a while. But I wound up scalping this for a quick little profit, only to see it consolidate for a while. So kind of, I guess, lucky on my part to get out of the trade versus getting stuck in it. So I'll show that replay here real quick. Let me pull it up. So like I've explained, we can see where this candle had that volume coming in and just kind of kept pushing to the upside. So if I press play, I think this candle is getting ready to close. I still got 30 seconds. I might fast forward it just a little bit. So as this candle closes, it kind of just slightly pulls back below this level. So like I said, I'm getting ready. I have a contract already queued up, the 528 put for QQQ. You can see my mouse getting ready to hit the buy button. So as I'm watching this candle right here, I actually go to hit actually go to hit buy market, but my auto send was unchecked. So I think that kind of bit me in the butt just a little bit. I would have had a better position. But as I hit the buy market, I feel like there was a little bit of slippage too through Bob, Thinkorswim, whatever the case is. But anyways, I'm in the market. I got one short, one contract short. Now I'm watching this contract just kind of move around. I have a really good feeling that it's gonna pull back and push to the downside just a little bit. Like I said, not knowing how much, if it's gonna reverse immediately or just continue down. It could have trended all the way down, could have gone all the way up. But either way, I'm watching it, just kind of taking my time, being patient about it. But like I said, I feel really confident that this is going to have just a little bit of a pullback. So I'll go ahead and fast forward here just a little bit, and then we'll see when I get out of the trade. So at this point, I can see that volume coming up on this bar, leading me to believe that we're going to have a pretty good little push to the downside. And in quick order, I just wanted to scalp it real quick so you can see me get out of the trade right there. And I almost pretty much marked the bottom of that candle, I believe, close to it. And then as I sit back and watch, I believe, like I said, watching or looking at the chart after the fact, this actually reverse and push to the upside a little bit and then just consolidated for a very long time. Now, later on in the day, the market did sell off, but at that point in time, I had already gotten off the computer and gone to do some other stuff. So that was the one trade that I took for the day. If I go back to the chart, like I said, we can definitely see where the market sold off eventually. And I was actually out and about driving around, and happened to look at my phone right at about the time this was when I saw this volume coming in at this particular level. Same thing, Thursday low again. It's retesting that Thursday low. This one, like I said, I was driving and I was on my phone. I'm not going to trade on my phone. Same thing. I've had that bite me in the butt before, where it's you're not as quick to get into a trade, you're not quick to get out of a trade, and then it just goes against you. But we can see here, this one did look like a really good trade because on this quick down move, we can definitely see volume stepping in. To me, this is stopping volume. This is a lot of buyers stepping in, maybe. And I'll say this much. I'm very new to this. If I get my terminology wrong, I imagine most of you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Correct me in the comment section if you know what I'm trying to say and I'm saying it wrong. Correct me. I'm not going to take offense to it. What we see here is all these long bottom wicks with a large amount of volume. Really, really a lot of volume. This right here is a lot more volume than even the opening candle. So this led me to believe that, like I said, there was a lot of buyers stepping in an attempt to maybe push the market back to the upside. Now we did have a really good move to the upside, but I was watching this on my phone. I wasn't going to take a trade, but I did just continue to watch it, and it wound up being a really nice trade. So here too, what we see is Friday's low last week on Friday. It broke through this level for the most part. It broke through this level, tested at the Thursday low, came back, broke back above Friday's low, and retested it only to continue to the upside. This right here, to me, is textbook. You have a little bit of a break for the most part, bit of a break, came back up, break back above, only to retest that level and then continue to the upside. This was a really nice trade if anybody got into this. I'm sure there's plenty of people that got in there. Like I said, I was driving on the road and just I was in no position to take a trade. But overall, that was the day. Like I said, I took this one little scalp over here. In hindsight, I can see the big chart. That was pretty much, I don't want to say a dome play, but that was risky for the most part. And, but like I said, this is trading. I'm still learning. There's plenty to learn. I like to be able to go back and review what I did. And then also, too, like I said, after the day is done, maybe take a look at the chart and see if there was any other positions that you could have possibly entered in and why you would have entered those trades. Like this one right here, based on the amount of volume that stepped in, And then just the fact that it was at a level, this to me would have been a really good position to go long on. Overall, like I said, end of the day, green. It was just a $12, $12 that I made. Here's a little contract entered at 86 cents, closed it out at 98, not including commissions. That's the only bad thing about TOS, really. It doesn't show you um, after commissions. It just shows you, what you entered at and what you closed out at, which is fine. I know what my commissions are. So $12, not including commissions and fees. But overall, like I said, that was my day. The one contract, scalped it real quick. It's green, hey, at least I'm not in the red for now. Um, there's been red days before. I'm sure I'll look forward to some more red days. Try to avoid them, try to be patient, and live to trade another day.